Good day, everyone. Back in the saddle again. We had a no-show here at 2 o'clock, so it's that way with practitioners, especially when you're so backed up. Some people, when they wait too long, and I don't blame them. But this does give me an opportunity to reach out and talk to all of my friends and stuff, so I'm not upset. Wanted to go over a lot of cases here. I mean, you got a lot of questions on me, so I'm going to really try catching up here, I tell you. But it's difficult because one of your answers could take 5 or 10 minutes to go over, But your questions are relative in so many ways to so many people. So I appreciate everything and every question, all your lovely comments. I love all that. I love all of you guys because we're a good site. Everybody seems to be positive. There's once in a while someone like the quality of our camera. Now, I don't know. We had been running it on a little less quality because of the time that it takes up on the chip. So we bought a 6-hour chip and took it down to 5-something to get to the top quality. But I hope you enjoy it. We noticed the top quality on that, so I apologize if there's been a quality problem for you. I don't try to seek perfection here, not anymore. That's the problem with perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist, and in carpentry work, you soon, after you beat yourself up a while, you soon learn, When I would build a house, I would eye every 2x4, 2x6, 2x12, whatever I was using. I would eye every one. As a matter of fact, when I build a building package, I would go to the lumber yard and I would eye every piece of wood that went into the house. It had to be straight both ways. And I was just, a real freak that way. I still am in terms of straight lumber, but now, this is a question on cystic fibrosis. Not a fun place to be, cystic fibrosis. I mean, just imagine the lungs being very cystic fibrotic. Very difficult. You can break through this, but you got to stay high raw. Definitely up in the fruitarian regiments. You want to use the 3-lung tea, and I would use lungs 1 and 2. I would tear into my kidneys, my adrenal glands, get my bowels cleaned up, and get my lymphatic system moving. Because keep in mind, your lungs have a lymphatic system, just a bunch of cells and 2 major fluids. So cystic fibrosis, a really booger bear, and this person has diabetes. I don't know if I know the type here. So you're always going to go after, let's see, this person started having seizures. When I was 17 or so, I was also diagnosed with diabetes, and when I was 22, I started getting seizures. Oh, bro. Well, you're going to go after your parathyroid gland for calcium utilization. I would be sucking down that 3-lung tea and breathing it in as an inhaler. You can use castor oil packs on the lung if you can drive it in deep enough. Use the antispasmodic if you're having any seizure problems right now or any spasms, cramps, anything like that. Go after your lymph system. Again, the parathyroid would be a good take in this, but with the diabetes, at type 1 or 2, either one, you're going to go into the adrenals. If you're having pancreatic problems, then you're going to use the pancreatic formula. But remember, the neurological diabetes, you're seeing a lot more of those in terms of type 1. And that would be the autonomic nervous system affecting beta cell production of insulin. And islet, we talked about this before. Islet transplants are ineffective. You're talking about a nervous system here. Nothing wrong with the beta cells. It's the nervous system that controls them. So in today's world where you're young, we've discussed this a lot, and you guys that are all becoming practitioners are going to see all these youth coming to you, and this is the sad tale that we have to see. And it is so far beyond our society's comprehension of what's truth and what's going on. It's not even funny, but that's why you are so vital to the future of this planet in your help and love to all people. So there's a reason you're on this YouTube, and I'm on here with you. So I would go that way. Of course, the diet is essential with cystic fibrosis and diabetes, so it's going to be all raw, predominantly fruit. If you're having trouble with fruit with blood sugars, which you shouldn't, but if you are, if it's at type 2, type 1, you should love fructose opposed to glucose. You might have some glucose loading. Review that one on diabetes that we've done. Here's another case where this lady is 4 months pregnant. She has 3 tumors, 2 in one breast and 1 in a lymph node. She doesn't want to do fruit, so we recommended the Hippocrates Institute for her. Now, when you're 4 months pregnant and you've got 3 tumors in your body, you've got a problem. And I've tried to talk about this before. Even though we have not seen this, it is still possible that now 4 months you're holding pretty good, but you never know in a detoxification scenario about holding the fetus or not. But I will say this to whoever this is. I mean, Jennifer's got all your stuff and you've been communicating with her, but I'll say this to you. You're the most important thing in your world. This soul that's going to enter your baby when it's born can find another body if you do have the body wants to shed that. But the most important thing is your lymph system and your body and the mom. The other issue is that the baby's going to have similar problems. You're going to have trouble with tumors in the baby, major and then have yourself a big protein meal, and I'll show you, just show you what's going to happen. Instead of coffee in the morning, I make this shake with 1/2 cup of oatmeal. Get rid of that one already. 1/2 tablespoon of chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a little bit of honey, and around 6 grams of protein powder. And bowl of fruit, man, bowl of fruit. You're not gonna. You're feeding your pain here. You're feeding your pain. But not as primary source of diet, not as a good start. Or how can I start to do things better? Get up on that raw bowl of fruit for breakfast. Fruit, at least fruit all the way to lunch. If you have to, you can do a large salad at lunch, or do fruit all day long till night and then have your large salad. At night, if you want some steamed vegetables with that salad, just remember, the more cooked you add into your diet, the less detox. When you're in pain or you have tumors, don't mess around with these things. Get to it, get it done. You got a great channel to support you. A lot of loving souls here willing to help you really tear this apart. Get yourself well and then go back to maybe your oatmeal. But if you can develop the habit of always having a fruit breakfast, please, I highly beg you to do that. Because when you wake up in the morning, which system is the most backed up in your body? That's right, your lymph system. And that needs to have that push, that flush, or at least that powerhouse of base chemistry and the astringents, and that's what a big fruit diet will do. I'll tell you, when you get used to that, you eat salads or too much of that, you'll get more tired in the day. When you're on fruit in the morning, you're buzzed till lunch. You're powered up, and if you see some of these comments, you'll see people that are getting more power with the fruits, and when they get off of them, they're feeling more tired. Well, this channel is a straightforward channel. We don't hold any punches, and I obviously don't expect you to, but I'm telling you, this is by experience of not just me, but tens of thousands of other people, and you all are seeing the same thing on yourself. So when you see this constantly and every time, you know, obviously becomes a big part of truth. There are some that are struggling, there's no question. If you're struggling, hang in there. Let all the support of this channel help you to get your health back. But most importantly, make that your goal. Put the robe on, strap yourself on a Bronco, I don't care, but get in the driver's seat and start driving your car toward Wellville. Because if not, then you're going to fall in this leaf blowing in a wind from medical to holistic to all kinds of problems, and you're ignoring the causative factor. With this channel is about causative factors. Myself, we were talking to Indiana Banana about that and all these tests and why is these estrogen up and this is down. And the thing is, intellectually, you can't go in because there's so much antagonistic chemistry today. You can't go in through the world of chemistry or hormones or steroids and play with this because there's too many contributing factors. Just from breathing the chemicals in the air to the foods, you cannot determine with all the toxicity and all that chemistry, which creates antagonistic chemistry, you cannot, in an intellectual sense, sit there and put your finger on truth because it's too hard. There's too much. We're all in disagreement in biochemistry. Set that aside and know that no matter what antagonistic chemistry you're involved in, what steroid or hormone is low, your focus is causative. Your focus is one, right at the cell, and then what affects the cell, blood and lymph. You're right there at the causative factors. You're going to rebuild that cell. You're going to genetically remember that cell to a level of the now, which with raw is a powerful level of functionability. That cell is going to pick up its ability to perform or continue to replicate a better cell as you go on down the road. So this is all very powerful, and the only focus one can have if you want to get out of your genetic slumbers and all that that implies with all the lymph, all the pain, all the acids, all the tumors. There's only one way to walk. But there wouldn't be a bunch of ways. There's only one way to walk, and the first way to walk is start eating the foods your body's designed to eat. And your body's not designed to eat meat. The human body, I don't care where you live, what we've done for hundreds of years, thousands of years, I don't care. Our bodies aren't designed to eat meat. We're more refined. Keep in mind that if you keep your head back in the dark ages, that's where you're going to be. What we did 1,000,000 years ago, what we did 100 years ago, and what we did yesterday does not matter. What matters is the now and what we have to do to correct what we didn't do right. Just because man did something 1,000,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago doesn't mean it was correct. That's the problem. We must understand and wake up to our spirituality, who the human being is, the tremendous abilities we have, conscious abilities we have. And that's just the bottom line to that. We need to start creating who we really are as a species and our spirituality and who we are spiritually, and start repairing these bodies of ours and start understanding ourselves as soul. Get out of this trapped world of ignorance and thought and intellectualism and emotions, and get into a much more expansive world of love and ecstasy and joy and nirvana, if you will. And you got to bring your body along with that, your bodies. Even though you're going to put your mind over in the corner and tell it when you want it to think, you still are going to use it. You know. How do I start? Hi. Okay, so, well, C1SCE0M, just start reviewing these videos. Get on the diets, start tearing this apart, go after your kidneys, adrenals, just what we've been talking about on this channel. Review these videos and get in there. Thank you so much for your, God doesn't ban you for telling the truth. Well, you know what, thank you very much, my friend. We're definitely in a situation. Right now, of course, in this country, there's a big fight because Obama wants to do things without Congress. Now, it's true, our Congress only has about a 12% approval rating. Imagine you're doing something, and you've got millions of people that only like you 12%. I would be depressed. I would be going, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing to help you? I'm here as your representative. Now, these guys are just constipated fools. They have no clue. They don't care about people. Are you kidding me? The newer ones do. The Tea Party ones do. But they're caught in this morass of old, shall I say, constipated thinking, very ritualistic in the Congress here. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. But, I see God as, shifting these things around. These people, we've got to have a world order here where everybody loves everybody. Unfortunately, religions have failed to do that. Instead of tying us all together, religion has separated us. Now, if you think that's good, okay, but I don't. I think God is a one and not, fight itself. Creation is the way it is, but unfortunately, the bankers are going to be the ones, but then they're going to, it'll all turn around. I mean, the nature of the supreme being. It's hard to get above and look at the big chess game that's going on here. Looking for a good way to improve surgical scars and stretch marks. I addressed that earlier, McNutt. I did talk about that in my last video, so... Dr. Morris, I kind of asked you to discuss about anorexia and bulimia. Thank you. I did tell how much I love all you. Thank you so much. Anna Maria. All I can tell you is that we have to, you're the living soul that uses your bodies to function in creation. You have to get to that part of yourself, and that's why we make this a spiritual/health channel, because if I can get you more into who you really are and away from the traps of the mind, because the mind works in grooves like a record, and we can use different things to break the grooves. We use music, and we're going back to the Beatles and to Elvis Presley and stuff. They broke the thought pattern of the day. So then you were able to reinstigate new thought forms. If you look at people that listen to discordant hard rock and things too long, pretty soon there's no direction in their lives. they've tore their thought patterns up, but they're not replacing them with anything that's stronger or more expansive. So the grooves get actually in a different way, and so they lose that. Handel was used a great deal by Germany to break up thought forms. Those in the know. Look what we used with Noriega. We used these big, huge speakers around a church and pumped hard rock in there till everybody went nuts, and finally he surrendered. That's the issue. The military knows it well. Everybody knows to use music to solidify, to enhance, to break up thought patterns. But if you use music to break up thought patterns, then you got to replace it with something that's good. So where I'm going at with this, you have to realize you're the central core of this body you're just using, and you need to change your focus to one of health. I've given you all the tools. It's all free here. You got all your tools. If you want to use herbs, unfortunately they cost, but I tell you how to use them. So, this is a shoe-in for you. But the biggest thing is you got to change your attention toward health. Start loving yourself. You get into your glands, you get into your adrenals, bring up your emotions, fix your thyroid up, and get you more self-love going on here, and really get your life together that way. Get on raw and change your focus. And that's what's fun. Isn't it fun to make a change once in a while? This static type of stuff doesn't exist in creation. You do this. If I do the same thing too long, I start going, I got to do something different. And that's what you got to do. You got to be excited about a new world, excited about a new journey. And make this a new journey for yourself, Anna Marie. Make this a fun journey into health. And drop all that. Just don't let the mind come in. When the mind comes, learn how to shut that mind off and put it in a chair over there in the corner. Be in the now and enjoy the beauty of that. And once the mind comes, but, no, you don't want a but. Because a but means that's thought. Right? So you want to be in the now. No, there's no ands, ifs, buts. It's just the now. And if you can empower yourself spiritually, you'll be able to control that. But on that road, just consider this a new adventure. And you're going to dress for it, you're going to pack for it, you're going to prepare for it, you're going to do all those things for this fun adventure. And that's what you have to do. Clean out the worms in your body. Clean your house out. Romania. I'll be over there one of these days, dear one. Hussabutt. That's a good name. Does castor oil help move lymph? No, but it helps to break up, maybe in a minor way, it helps break up solidified congestion or mucus. It helps to soften hard things, kind of like Laetrile, B17. We use Laetrile when a tumor's growing to the bone or something to help loosen that up a little bit. So I use castor oil for pain. It's an anti-inflammatory. Oils are anti-inflammatories. That's why cholesterol is the body's main anti-inflammatory. It's a lipid. Great video on leukemia. Oh, thank you. I've wanted to discuss the notion of white blood with you for a while. Eric writes, the problem is this. Are the white corpuscles living cells of vital importance to protect and maintain life, to destroy germs of disease, and to immunize the body against fever, infection, etc., as the standard doctrines of physiology and pathology teach? Or are they just the opposite? Waste, decayed, undigested, unsoluble food substances, mucus, and pathogens? Professor... Spira. Good name, Professor. I wanted to get rid of this doctor concept, so I wanted to, I was made a professor at the School of Biology and Science in Portugal, and I was going to, try to change my focus there, but hasn't happened. White blood cells? No, white blood cells isn't mucus and pathogens and stuff like that. White blood cells, your WBCs, come in many shapes and sizes, but essential to immunity. They're all divided up into different ones. You have your Navy SEALs of the B's and T's. Then you have your Armies and your Air Forces of the neutrophils, basophils, escophils. I mean, you got all kinds doing different things for you. Mucus is mucus. And I think that Arnold Ehret was, I feel like Arnold Ehret in the sense that his teaching and his clinicals, it's clinicals. His clinicals were incredible. So I learned a lot. Hopefully I took what he learned and improved it. And I'm hoping you guys will take what I learned and improve it. And that's how we should be doing this. But a lot of constipation out there. So I believe white blood cells are white blood cells of all levels there. I'm worried too much about this diversions from vegan fruit diet to meat and eggs. Yeah, I am too. Some guru is saying we are all need to eat more cholesterol. Some guru? Huh. Well, I like masters over gurus. You know, when you talk to a master, a guru, basically a student under a master, as far as I'm concerned. Also, my brother, it's because there's masters. Remember I talked to you about that before. There's masters. There's gurus, there's saints and saviors, then there's masters, and then there's masters. That's the level I like the best. These guys are the most powerful beings I've ever witnessed in creation anywhere. Just to be in their presence is like humbling. Major God lovers. You know what makes a spiritual giant? A God lover. His love for God can't be broken no matter what. Rumi was such a great guru and probably a master in his own right. But his master, Shamus Tabriz, I love that guy. Also, my brother is following a high-protein diet, which involves lots of whey protein. People are in this friggin' whey protein. What the hell is that? You know, that's crap, boy. I know, I have a good friend, a medical doctor, and we fought over that because he didn't quite, once he realized with the level we do, he didn't quite want to do that. He is into the natural health now, has a natural health clinic in California, but he was making nutritional bars, and he said, I know you're not going to like this, but I'm adding whey protein. I go, oh! I think someone is offering people in raw food community money to promote wrong things. Something like that, Angel Harris. You know, I'm on your side. There is nothing healthy about dead tissue and eggs and things like that for a Homo sapien. What are we looking for? Nutrition? The most nutrition, really, and adequately so, is in your fruits and your berries. Granted, not so good here in this country and the berries, but don't let that's an excuse. You know, it'll still support you well, but I'm not advocating a total raw food, a fruitarian diet. Although it'd be nice if we could all get there, because I've been there, and I know a lot of you have been there, and there's some people that have been there extensive periods of time, longer than me. But for me, very powerful experience, and I tell you, in my healing practice here, it's the only level that really gets that lymph moving. Vegetables don't do it. This was talking about earlier. I do. I see this. I get a first-hand look from Gabriel Cousins and Brian at the Hippocrates here in Florida. I get a first-hand look at their clients because they come marching right in here when they have cancers or tumors. I don't know how many, but certainly we get quite a lot of them. And you can see that they felt better. But if I have a tumor, I don't want to feel better. But I agree. This is just wrong information. But this is what happens. And this is no offense to Brandon or anyone else, seriously. Because I love you all, including Brandon, a lot. This guy's really sharp. He's good. But this is what I've said early on. Sometimes when you first meet someone like me, you don't understand the years we've had and going through all this stuff that you guys are asking about. And so we've just had a lot of years of witnessing this sort of thing. It is typically, and you see this in the Hippocrates even, they have expanded now. Now they're into digestive enzymes, probiotics. I've got their supplement list right here. I have their supplement list right here. I have plenty of clients from Hippocrates. They bring to me what they were ordered to take and how much. That's another good one. You think I'm expensive? Go to the Hippocrates and buy some of their supplements. Won't take you long to realize where we are. But that said, not downing them, that's a typical naturopathic focus today. We've lost naturopathy here, guys, and that's a sad thing, and you guys are bringing it back. I've got a friend that holds the rights to Benedict Luss, which is all the original naturopathic association, the American Naturopathic Association. Me and some osteopaths would love to start a true naturopathy school. I don't know if that'll happen. You know what? I'm a little burnt, but it would be nice to have a true naturopathy school, and that's what you're getting here. You're getting pure naturopathy with a twist. And I twisted naturopathy when I slammed raw foods and I slammed botanicals together in a process of detoxification and wellness. No one has done that I know. But they are now. But supplements. And it's just like it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I forget where I was going with that. But I get the chance to see what other diets do on people. And I represented America in these big symposiums we would have in Lisbon. And you would have healers from all around the world gathering, some of your top healers. And I got to look at them. I got to listen to them, of course. And always loved what we do the best because we always got the best results. And we always felt better. Aloha, for my love to you. Wow! All of my love to you. All of my love to you. Beautiful. This is a hibiscus flower, is it? I've got some, I used to have hibiscus all over the place. The doubles and the triple hibiscus are really cool stuff. But here they don't handle the cold. Started Detox 1 and 2 superfood caps and 3 other formulas. Just ordered the rest of the kits as well as multiple formulas. Well, you going to knock yourself out here, kiddo? And another superfood blend for the next 3 months. Holy man, sucking down orange, apple, and red grape juices and loving it. Would you like my measurements for the robe now or later? Yeah! Oh! You got to be a female. Yeah, baby. I love those kind of people. Absolutely. That's a butt-kicking woman right there. If that's a woman, generally males, of course, I would have a flower there, so I can't, and all you guys are spiritual, so yeah, outside of the realm of spirituality, men generally are the acid side of chemistry. Oh, thank you very much, Six String. I'm trying to get to you guys, but I'm telling you, see this? Take a look at this. And that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. It takes me so long to go over these questions. I apologize here. So I'm glad you guys are helping each other, like Master Plan 8, talking about this. You're right in the middle. Your first thing is going healing crisis. I appreciate you guys working with each other. Same. JG, I like Cinema, but I could see in a mile away that he is going to return to animal product. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Thanks. Guys, keep me straight here. Typically, when you are into this, like Brian and David Wolf, and I will say Fit for Life, Harvey Diamond, most of these people never stay raw. Or they start adding wacko supplements. Harvey Diamond didn't stay raw. David Wolf started whacking out on the supplements, the digestive enzymes. So is Brian. I don't know about Gabriel because of these. I don't whack out on these things. Been there, done that a lot of years ago. Don't need to whack out on that anymore. I went down the intellectual. I love to study, read, and gain all the knowledge I can. After a while, you come to some important conclusions if you're halfway aware, and that is that there's a lot of propaganda in the health field that just doesn't hold any water. And there's a propaganda in the anthropology field. There's a propaganda in the physics world. There's propaganda in the chemistry world. It's everywhere. Look to the largest lab and biosphere that you have access, and you're standing right on it. Indiana Banana and I were having a dissertation this morning on that fact of the difference between trying to look at blood results and trying to play the game of correcting figures, when in reality you've got to go to the cells and the two fluids affecting the cell and the genetic memory of that cell. And that's where you want to go right to the source of what your body's made of and how it's ran. And that, it will take care of every single thing, including bringing chemistry into, loosely shall I say, a homeostasis. But, you know, some people feel they have to have the meat and love it. And there are people, I tell you, when people feel they have to have meat, they find every way in the world to justify it. But there's just nothing healthy about dead tissue. Oh, yeah, that explains the move to animal, yeah, fermented dairy and stuff like that. Oh, sorry to hear that, JG, but he's young. He'll come out of it, especially when he starts feeling another way, because you're not going to feel good eating that way, especially if you've been on raw for a while. Not going to feel real good going that way. How you doing, JG? Here's Blue Phoenix Rising. You should be on the front page of YouTube on the Health District. Love you, bro, and love you, Blue Phoenix Rising. I love all you guys. You guys are so good. I tell you. Stay strong, every one of you, because we're the healers of the world. You're going to see this everywhere you turn. You see it already. So disappointing out there. And this world needs all you beautiful light bulbs. You're also beautiful, from all the way from Bulgaria, Romania, to Israel. All of you guys. We need to show the world how you bond with love. We must lead by example. Here's... you guys give me a twist. Songokan? Thank you very much for your night. Today is the last day of my weeks 1 and 2. Oh, cool, man. Plus fourth day on juice fat. All right, this morning I have seen sediment. We got another sediment. You know what? Is it Indiana Banana? He hasn't seen that much sediment yet. Indiana Banana. Well, with this new protocol, I think you will. Starting from tomorrow, weeks 3, 4, Detox 6, and keep going. Pedal to the metal. From London. Good work, man. Proud of every one of you. Starting from tomorrow, weeks 3, 4, Detox 6, and keep going. Pedal to the metal. From London. Good work, man. Proud of every one of you. Here's Nora D. List. You're looking younger with... Thank you, sweetheart. I got my hair tripped, but I really love long hair. But, you know, sometimes it's just... Venice Stew. Oh, look at that cute little fella. Dr. Morris, if you take your class, pass the test, and go out and promote eating raw eggs and drinking goat's milk and drinking fermented kefir is good for you, you will still recognize me as one of your practitioners? I'm not sure. Because, I mean, you always have that access here. But I wouldn't recommend you to anyone. Because I'm going to recommend somebody that's closer to me in what they do, because we're so successful. Yes, we have people that have chronic problems, and yes, they have to work hard, and yes, some people take over a year, and yes. But you still see it. Look at that sweetheart walking. With MS. You see all these, and I haven't showed you a fraction yet. Our problem is we don't have testimonials on videos. We're going to find a way. Once we get this club thing up and going, I'll feel better about putting testimonials on the internet, you know, because I just, it's so disgraceful. And sometimes you just get tired of fighting. You know, it's like, sometimes you just say, let them have it. But then I get a breath of fresh air and say, oops, that was just a temporary moment of insanity. Question about cavities. Oh, this is Iron Cobra 22. I love that drum set, man. Holy crap. I'd like to hear you knock that out. Man, I had a good drummer in my band. This guy, we were so crazy. He'd stand up on his chair and just knock those drums out. We played some song because we played for sororities and fraternities. So you can imagine about 10, 11 o'clock at night, it was pretty rowdy, and we got pretty rowdy too. But I lived right next to Indiana University. And I won't go there. But I took your advice to get the lump out of my throat, got your herbs for adrenals, kidneys, lymph, and oh, this is the lump in the throat. Okay. I'm also on the 8th day of the Great Fast. Man, you go. Go, Iron Cobra. Get that lump out of there, man. Or it'll settle, it'll work itself. Someday you'll feel it start dropping, and you don't want to drop on the sphincter of the stomach, because then you'll start getting a little hiatal hernia about that. It happened to me. I was using carrot juice. I was young, and I just didn't have it all. I wasn't, My problem is that I've just discovered 2 cavities. Well, you know what? I mean, this is acids. This is all acid. So yeah, you're going to see some chomping down a little bit, man. But if you do clean that up, you want to use the composite fillings if you want. Some of you are bold enough to see if the body can get rid of them. I've seen your other video about cavities and how it is related to the lymph system. Absolutely. What am I confused about is that I have been eating very bad toxic junk food about 12 years and haven't had any cavities all these years. Well, they've been working. They've been slowly building up, and suddenly you're aware of them. The raw foods didn't give you a cavity, man. That's ridiculous. 12 years and haven't had any cavities all these, but now I have been on raw food and vegetables for the past 2 months and just started the Great Fast, and now I have 2 cavities. What do you recommend I do to get rid of these cavities? I'd do some mouthwash with the Heal All tea and just hold it in my mouth. Just hold it and then spit it out and get another drink. Sit there, watch TV or something, and and hold that and let that clean and pull on that lymph system in your mouth. You got to realize when you eat junk, a lot of people don't feel it. And this is some of the problems that I see with that. You'll go along and people go along and year after year, no problem, and then wham! Well, nothing wrong with me. I've been doing good. I mean, I've never had any problems. This is the illusion that most people live under. Is they can eat this way and no problems. I feel good. Nothing's going to happen. That's the versatility. That's the incredibleness, if you will, of the human body. Can take a licking and keep on ticking. Eventually, something will raise its ugly little head. After a certain thing, you can go for years and never feel something, and suddenly you're diagnosed with cancer. You ever see that? He was doing good, and suddenly he's got cancer all through him. He wasn't doing good, was he? He thought he was. That's the problem we're facing, is the human body is resilient to a point. Thank God, though, because that helps us get people back. I had a friend who was a total fruitarian growing enamel back. I told you about him earlier. He kept kicking out his fillings, and I told him that I thought he was growing his enamel back, and he was telling that to the dentist, and the dentist said he was full of crap, and the 4th filling he kicked out, the dentist didn't think he was full of crap anymore. So I don't know. Europe has been doing work right over there with rebuilding enamel and stuff, so I don't know. But I would definitely make sure my parathyroid was up. I'm moving my lymph system. That lump just shows you how bad you are there, that these are acids chewing on you, man. And you really just get that. I would use baking soda toothpaste. Really bring alkaline chemistry in there for sure. I thought fruit is alkaline inside the body, but acid outside the body, meaning that it can be detrimental to teeth. Well, I mean, there's so much wrapped around that. I mean, you can argue the point that the most fruit are a little on the acidic side because we pump the trees full of nitrogen and we pick them unripe. Yeah, you can argue some of these things for sure. But I never experienced any tooth problems with raw especially, but definitely with fruit. I've never seen that. And a friend of mine that went fruitarian, he started rebuilding his enamel on that. I check my parathyroid, keep moving my lymph out, use the Heal All tea to clean your mouth and pull on that lymph system in your gums and clean that all up. I've also heard Doug Graham say that 100% fruit diet is very bad for teeth. I've heard that. I've heard Doug Graham say that as well. But in a detoxification scenario, I just don't see that. But there's been a lot of people live fruitarian for years that have full teeth, so I don't know. I think everything is. And remember this, your weaknesses are exposed during detox, and this is another issue that you'll see that fruit. We mistake the power that fruit has to move energy and to be energy and to move lymph. We mistaken some of those symptoms for bad fruit. Powerful fruit, not bad fruit. But I agree with Brandon with this. We have a hard time getting good fruit, enough said. Use watermelons and stuff like that. You can pop up on green drinks. You can pop down a good green drink a day or something. I have no problems with that. We're just here trying to move lymph. But I have no problem with a good green drink, particularly if it's high in parsley, dandelion greens. Put a little beet in there. Beet in there is real powerful on the liver and kidneys. So beet, parsley, and dandelion green should always, when you can get dandelion green, should always be part of a mixture of greens. Whether you use kale or whether you use spinach, who cares? Throw a little seaweed in there. Another thing you might use for these teeth is start using a kelp supplement. And a kelp supplement, nothing, no iodine added, just pure kelp, Norwegian kelp or whatever, but get pure kelp. Do 2 capsules 3 times a day for a couple of months. Pick up your parathyroid, start the Calma Plus, and have your teeth rebuild that. Use the Heal All tea to clean and see where you go there. Hey, Bev. I am wondering why Doug Graham from the 80-10-10 diet doesn't look so hot. Interesting, huh? He is half bald, just plain doesn't look good. Is he not absorbing food properly? That's possible. This is the thing is that I'm teaching you, and I love what you just said, Bev. I'm teaching you guys, and I'm going to get more involved with that, teaching you how to identify problems. When you see someone thin, what are you looking at? Just what you said, babe. You're looking at malabsorption or you're looking at pancreatic. Because in reality, once we get around these genetics and we get around the corner, how many of you just made a comment that you gained weight eating raw foods? You're starting to see some of you do that. This concept that you're going to be emaciated and thin eating fruit is bullcrap. Yeah, on a process of getting healthy, real possible with a malabsorber, if you're not going to look too good. Another one that I always thought was a good malabsorber is the survival into the 21st century man. That's right, Victor. I always thought he looked very gaunt, malabsorbed, real low parathyroid, and this is what I want to teach you, how to identify problems so you know what you can do on the side to help them a little more. Wrinkles, prolapsus, gaunt, definitely parathyroid, connective tissue weakness, malabsorption. Good catch, Bev. You guys are pretty good. Also, Gabriel Cousins. He is too skinny, and I believe he dyes his hair. Ooh. Well, Gabriel Cousins. Well, I'll say with myself, I could sure make myself look a lot better too, guys. It's been a rough road, and I'm sure it's been a rough road for a lot of you guys, so I'm not just pointing a finger to me, but just in my own world, taking on some of these things. Just trying to teach people about health, you wonder whether they're going to come arrest you. Something about truth. And I've lived with this for 40 years. The fear of throwing in jail for being truthful, being honest. Pretty sick. Don't send me back down here. Now, you look good even though you ate some cooked foods. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I could drop 50 pounds in a heartbeat and be happy about it. And I'm working on it. I'm getting better and better, and you guys are helping me too. It's just, I'm busy at every end of my body. That's excuses. Cooked food and are paying it for in the graying and thinning. Yeah, I know it. Well, like I said, when my hair's turned a little back and I'm not using the upper circ. I need to start sucking down that upper circ. But my hair was as white as the walls in this office here when I poisoned myself with quinine. My hair went white. But it was a kick to my body. I tell you, I suppose arsenic would probably have a similar kick, but man, quinine is a son of a gun. I highly recommend nobody play with herbs that have high in quinine, and I've always thought that John's son out there needs to get that out of their book on the Peruvian bark. You need to remove Peruvian bark out of your book because it isn't even worth people playing with it. A very dangerous herb, that's all I can tell you. I tried it with people on low dosages even. They still get a little tightness and short of breath. No way, bad herb. Some herbs are very powerful. It's where we get our quinine, but not a good idea to play with that herb. So these two speak that all raw food diet is no good to the long term. I disagree with that. I think that if you can work yourself and keep working yourself, that you will be able to sustain on an all raw food diet. There's nothing healthy about cooked food, but it is used as a form of balance. But you're right, there's nothing healthy at all about dead tissue, cooked foods. There's just nothing healthy about it at all. But it is a very energetic, a very detoxifying experience. You make it through all that, you're good if you can balance out there. You're good if you can balance out there. Whether one can, should, I don't know. I can tell you that I think an all fruit, raw food diet would be essential for the future Homo sapiens. And I think what we're doing here is actually taking this gigantic downward failing of the cell, and we're all spinning it around and turning the cell backwards and going toward vitality and health again. And that's just a beautiful thing. And I think we're bringing the consciousness of the botanical kingdom to the world too, and saying, look, God doesn't make too many bad things. These herbs are incredible. There's all kinds of herbs out there. Some are toxic. Most of them are butt-kicking good for you. Yep. And I think if Gabriel and all these guys got into a higher level of detoxifying, they'd feel better and look better and do better too. But they're happy where they are, and that's okay. I have changed my smoothie. Let me see here. Food diet says that definitely something wrong with these two. As Ann Wigmore reversed her hair color back, you remember I told you this lady that had T-cell lymphoma. She had T-cell lymphoma. And she owned an herb company, and she called me, and T-cell lymphoma scared. I said, listen, use all my herbs and then use yours. Just tear into this. I still have frozen back in the freezer there an immune formula she put together. Whew, that was a good one. And her hair was salt and pepper, white and gray. Then during the 3 or 4 months was all, her hair started turning mostly black, and then a lot of it started turning blonde. And I just had this discussion with one of you YouTubers about blonde. This person had blonde hair till they were like 10 or 12, and then it started turning color. I bet you if they hit this high raw, they're going to have their hair turn back to blonde. Does hair color change with chemistry? Absolutely. You see how it turned white with chemistry? You can turn it back with chemistry, and the question is, how back do we go? And can we get our original, what we're born with, eye color, hair color, do we get that back? I tell you, you guys are going to take this so far out there. I'll be looking down on you guys going, go for it, guys. Kick butt. And she was in her late 80s. Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of incredible things. I'm going to get my butt, guys. Just keep hanging with me. I have changed my smoothies with my 2 teenage daughters. Good. And we are now all cleansing on fruit with a raw salad at night. Hey, you got your daughters to do it. That's incredible, Bev. More power to you ladies. Power to the ladies. I feel so much lighter. Yeah, there you go. And with my 2 girls, 99% raw vegan for 3 years, I think that I was eating too much greens at the end as I hit a plateau. See what I'm telling you guys? Here's Bev. She experienced the same thing. I'm telling you. A lot of you guys have. I have. Truth is truth. Truth is truth. Bev, got my heart, lady. You were right on here. Question is, can we become super healthy cells on all raw fruit? I firmly believe in all walks of anthropology, chemistry, biochemistry, in every way, common sense, that we're frugivores. Whether or not, because of what, and Brandon's right, a lot of Homo sapiens migrated into northern environments, they had to kill to eat. Now, how bad is it when you have to kill your food? My grandmother canned, but I still remember those cookers, and I'm going, oh man, that's, just as a young child, I'm going, my God, this is killing that food. And I didn't know anything about raw foods, but this is super pressure. And it's like, ooh. So we had to kill our food to have something to put down through the winter. No trucking, anything like that. There's nothing healthy about killing your food before you eat it. So man suffered from that. Ever how small, but stop and look at where humans are now, and that's omnivorish eating. We're all eating omnivorish. Well, not all of us, but certainly there are a lot of people eating very omnivorish, and that's what you get. The omnivorish diet is not for humans. And you can give an omnivorish diet to primates, and you can give an omnivorish diet to herbivores, and they all get sick. And they all go down because the primates, the frugivores, and the herbivores aren't designed for dead tissue, not designed for cooked. No animal's designed for dead foods, that's for sure. So you're doing good. Let me see here. Let me see what you're saying here. Question, can we become super healthy cells? So fruit, yeah, I go to the wild greens. And yeah, I mean, you can have, there's nothing wrong with having greens. There's nothing wrong with that. But you should have a dominance of fruits and berries with some greens. So I like what you're doing. It's a diet I've been promoting is fruit all day long, fruit, berries, and melons. And all you want, and at night have you a large salad. I used to promote fruit, salad, fruit. I got to thinking, I just talked with a great guy up there in Alberta, and it was like he kind of fell off the wagon here and everything. And it's hard. It's minus 31 degrees right now there. So yeah, it's a little tough. But if you can do raw through the day, especially your fruits through the day, when it's light, the sun, you're happy, everything's good, and then at night when things kind of hit you, dark, everything, emotions, family, then you do your salads. If you have to have some steamed vegetables, maybe make sweet potato in the cold. But if you're going after cancer, tumors, diabetes, going after any problem in the human body where acids are breaking you down, then you want to get serious for a while and get that out. And then balance out if you want. I mean, no one's over anybody with a club here. But I like what you're doing. I mean, I love this idea of the green drinks on top of the raw fruits. That's fine with me. I'm good with that. I go wild greens too. I'm thinking, you got a good awareness there, sweetheart. Most of you guys have a very high awareness. I'm privileged to be in your presence. See, neighbors wonder when we are going to cut our grass. We could go out and cut it and start eating on it. That'd freak them out. I see all these survival shows, and I'm kind of a survivalist kind of guy, so I watch all the survival shows. And I look at how they eat all the grub worms and how they eat all the nasty stuff. And here's all the leaves and the grasses and everything for them to eat. I'm going, you're missing the bulk of nutrition. You're eating stuff. Now, my backyard is full of dandelions. How interesting is that? Liver, root, dandelion root, liver, pancreatic, dandelion leaves, adrenal, kidney. Wild lettuce, ooh, that is good. And other wild plants. Oh man, honey, eat up. And our wild lettuce is all throughout the... Have fun with that, absolutely. Have that, have your fruits, your berries. That's health right there. But in detoxification, we just kick up the fruit a little more. I don't care if people have... In today's world, till we get our cells regenerated, our youth regenerated, fruitarian lifestyles might be a little more difficult with people, but if you have some greens on top of a high fruit, berry, and melon diet, you're living on the top of the mountain. Am I going to argue over a few green drinks and something like that? No, and I like alfalfa. Another one of my power plants. But in detoxification, you're using greens to build, stay healthy, bones and stuff. Sure, good, little bit's okay. But brain and nerve, moving limbs, fruit and berry melon. So good way. You're doing good. I think you're doing really good. We don't water. We let the rainwater. Yep, good. What causes fistula? My sister has them, and they cut 2 out already, which suggests she could leave them and is pouring out toxins. You hit it right on the head, sweetheart. Lymphatic. She just recently quit wheat. Listen, Bev, you're my kind of woman. The gluten is removed in distillation process of the alcohol. Only true is distilled spirits, though. No things like beer, etc., that are fermented. Yeah. This is Rosalind. When it is that cold, raw food is just not fun. We in Quebec City, I just talked up there. I know it needs some warm. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. So that's when you do your baked sweet potatoes, you do your steamed vegetables. Obviously in the winter, you're kind of pulled toward a little more proteinish type thinking and stuff like that. That's what makes it a little more difficult in detoxification. So find a good balance for yourself. Use warm herbal teas to warm up with, vegetable soups, no meat stock, and no cooked tomatoes. But you can make a nice stock with a vegetable soup with pearled onions and fresh corn, and don't overcook it where you're still crisp. Green beans, asparagus. You can put a little sweet potato if you want in that. It's endless. The peas, I love peas. Put peas in there, and make yourself a good vegetable soup. But boy, be careful, because if you're used to raw and you eat a big bowl of soup, you're going to go. It's like yeah. But Mardanina, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sweetheart. Can you further explain what you mean by balance? Is it 50% fruit and the rest raw, but nuts, seeds, etc.? No. Do you mean some cooked? You often mention Dan. I'm not sure what you think he is doing wrong. Well, balance is when and it's hard for a person to know when they're getting out of balance. If you're more aware, you know when you're getting out of balance. But sometimes you don't unaware you're getting out of balance, and sometimes when you're pumping too much raw and you're too hyper focused on that direction, it changes you. And then there's just a lot of changes you can go through. If you're not careful, your ego can get pretty far out there, and you got to bring it back and put it in the corner and only use it when needed. So the id that you have to use if you want to grow spiritually isn't the ego id. It is consciousness id. If at all there's a separation, there should never be a separation. Consciousness, there's one. There's no separation between me and you. There is no me, my little self, and me, my higher self. I am my higher self. But people, Dan himself is taking a little sabbatical, which is good. Needs to, and we all need to. Balance out a little bit. You do too much. And I say this about raw, and Rosalind was talking, you can rat out with it. Because we still have a maturity to grow spiritually in our emotions and in our thoughts. And when we're powering out up here and we're used to operating down here, you can unsettle yourself. And if you let your bodies get too much control, then you get out of balance. So it's really hard to describe that. Balance would be to have some vegetables once in a while if you're all fruit. If you're all raw, balance might be having some cooked vegetables sometime. In the winter, you're going to have to stay there. I don't do well in cold on all raw, and most of you don't either. It's hard to do that. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just we're a tropical species. And raw is more sub and tropical areas. you guys that live up north are monsters. You guys are incredible beings that are sitting there and eating raw during the cold. I applaud every one of you. You guys are incredible beings that are up there fighting the fight. And that is just being able to eat your food that makes you healthy and struggle with the environment. So I take my hat off to every one of you. My heart's with every one of you. I can't live up there and do that. I just not happy to do that. So I applaud you all for doing that. Monster meaning powerful and strong, not monster negative. Hey, Dano, what your feeling is on tattoos? Well, I'm not really a tattoo lover. I remember one guy, I had to start an IV in him, and he had everything tattooed but one little part of his lower back. I mean, everything literally was tattooed. I said, oh, I don't, I hated to start an IV in him. But I always wonder about the inks and stuff like that. I know they're pretty settled in the dermis and epidermis, but I don't know. I like bodies without a lot of tattoos on them, but I don't mind tattoos. But I would never have tattoos all over my body like that. I think that sometimes we need to love ourselves for what we are and not feel we need to be different by, augmenting the body like that. I'm not good with piercing everywhere. Ears are fine and all that, but when you start piercing everything under the sun, it's like, oh, I don't know. So I'm pretty much each to whatever they like. I like individuality. I think there's some tattoos that are just friggin' gorgeous, just incredible tattoo artists out there. So, a few tattoos on someone doesn't bother me, but too much. I particularly don't care for them on women too much. Women with too many tattoos. Just me. And I'm an old fart, Danielle, haha, BTW, I am still a man. Oh ho! He's still a man. Good. Daniel, glad you like my... What is ridiculous and outrageous is that childhood trauma university being the basis of ego and personality dysfunction is a consensus in psychology, but schools and the media do not teach it. I have to keep you're good for me because I have to keep myself in your groove, if you know what I mean. By design, of course, to treat us like mushrooms. Exactly. It was interesting you called them. I have asthma, and so you probably had some trouble from my energy there. I will be good and go to bed now. D fruits for the win, folks. D. Daniel, adrenals on the asthma, Daniel. Adrenals. I kind of thought you were because generally ladies not quite into the articulation that you are there. I like that. I have to, you keep me on my toes with your articulation of life. Pretty good. Really love you, man. Oh, this is Miss Raw Flower. That drives me nuts. Your cancer videos. Oh, thanks for that. I'm amazed you guys liked them because I just came out that way, and I'm going to add to them. Somebody brought in, I'm going to add to each one of these individual videos. That's the idea. On the back, I'll get in specific cancers and what you would do for them. But I just need time to kind of collect and go on and add more of the individual things. And then I'll try to expand my ability to do things like that more when I'm doing the video. Oh, thanks. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, all of you, and especially Miss Raw Flower. Looking forward to a fresh reading your book and kick the butt with the fruits. Love to you too, dear one. Intriguing picture. Woo-hoo. Sweet 00976. Thank you for the response in this video. I am wanting to begin an all-fruit diet, but I'm still stuck on you need protein bandwagon. I train intensively. Well, if you train intensively, pump the greens, Pump the alfalfa. Do that favor for yourself so you don't hurt your kidneys or your bladder or your colon. Pump the green drinks. You know, who was it that had the raw power? He's rewriting this book, I think. Part of the David Wolf group, Arden. But power up. I'm not anti-greens, but as a frugivorous species, we can have some, but living exclusively on this, why did we invent the juice extractor? Because we're not designed for cellulose like that. But pump on some alfalfa greens, use your spinaches, use whatever you want in there. I would definitely use because you want to keep your kidneys filtering. If you're pumping and creating all this acid, you still want to move lymph, vital, because you won't like where you're going if you don't. So you really want to do that, keep that raw up there, especially the fruits and stuff. At the same time, pump your green drinks, hit the alfalfas. I think it would be also good to have some kelp in there to keep that high iodine and calcium pumping in there so you don't lose it. You keep packing it back, because in all workout you'll tend to lose it. You want to put it back. Keep working on the kidneys and everything else, but power up with green protein. If I can use that word, that's a wrong analogy. Amino acids. Pump up on green amino acids. Protein is not a proper name. We need green amino acids. If you do meat amino acids, of course, that is going to be the word protein. Body can only use aminos, so we want aminos. And pump up on the alfalfa. You'll stay alkaline. You'll strengthen up. Alfalfa. We raced our horses. We powered them up with alfalfa. And let me tell you, we had some powerful horses. I train intensively and worry that muscle repair may suffer with an all-fruit diet. Probably right in that respect initially, because fruits are going to detoxify you first. So you're right in that way. If you don't have the need to go too far down the detoxification road, then by all means start pumping with greens. Shuck the whey protein, shuck all these proteins, and pump with the greens. Strongest animals in the world, raw food is fruits and vegetables. So go that route, and you'll save acidifying your body there, and you'll clean out the acids you're creating through your intense training. So being smart, I think, well, because you can pick in this whole beautiful field of botanicals, superfoods, which is your greens and all that, your fruits and your berries. You got a beautiful array of nutrition and power that you don't have in the protein field. In the protein field, I see death, I see dormancy, enzyme inhibitors, calcium loss. You can go right on down the road. There's a long, long list of what you can experience going that way. Leave that negative road and go to the positive road of power, energy, health, and vitality, dear one, and you will do well. Sweet 00976. JG. Oh, you're talking to this other guy? A medical doctor did a video on glaciers. How interesting is that? Stop talking nutritional advice from medical doctors. Absolutely. You don't go to a electrician for a carpenter question. You don't go to a plumber for an air conditioning question. Why would you go to a medical doctor for a health question? I'm amazed that people even think medical doctors have anything to do with health. And the use of that word could get them in trouble someday. This isn't what they do. And they have nothing absolutely to do with health. Nothing. Sustaining, emergency, surgeries. You could, in a twisted tongue, say, well, I cut off your breast so I saved your life, and so in a way I made you healthier. No, that didn't fit. I don't know how you could say it. Oh, this is Monica. 9 volt. I had a bad case of lymphedema and all kind of health issues, including kidney failure. Then oh, honey, good girl. Thank you, sweetheart. I hope you got rid of these. Sounds like you did. Keep going. Kick yourself in the butt, dear one. Beautiful woman. And always be healthy, just like you're doing. Thank you, 91 Gamalex. Thank you, dear one. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are. I get a little ratted out of times, so I appreciate you bearing with me. I really do. I love. Oh, here's a workout boss. How you doing, bro? It was a pleasure to meet you and your woman. Great pictures, great time. I wish I had more time to spend with you, my friend, but I'm one busy dude. You know, I barely come out of my den here. And it's like, oh, what's going on out here? You know, it's like living in the dark. But you know what? That's life right now. Now, how you doing? Thank you for taking the time for the photo. Yes, yes, yes. Your energy was like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you coming in, too. Sorry, I just didn't have any time to spend with you. I wish I did. Okay, so just know that my love's always with you guys. And do good, man. You and your fiance when you're getting married. Styling. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, baby. Hello, I think I have, Sangpuka eyes. Oh, well, you know, if you're seeing white under your iris, I would really just make health my focus. I really would. I would really go for systemic power. I would really detoxify myself, and then I would work up to like the ultimate immune. There you've got the Panaxes. I put in the antlers, and that's going to power, strengthen, and rebuild bone marrow, cells. So power yourself up that way and build yourself up that way. But first detoxify. You can pump some greens and some alfalfas and some parsleys and some dandelions and stuff like that. But then go ahead and start building your health up. That's the only focus you can have anyway, to be honest with you. And your whole body is a one. You want to treat it as one. And if you do it all together, you have more power. You guys will notice that when you add the diet, it's powerful. When you do it, the diet and herbs, hold on to your hat, right? So every level has its power to help you get well. When you add it all together, hang on, strap in, the ride's going to be wild. Especially those that have a lot of toxicity and get black tongues, tumors popping out. But isn't that fun? I mean, everything else kind of sucks right now. It's fun to detox and get your body healthy and clean out all this gnarly, nasty looking stuff, all this stinky protein and acids, and then your body's light, you feel good, you're on, you're aware, you perceive more, you're aware of people's aurics more. Cool stuff. Step in, wrap on that robe, and take it for a ride, man. What can you lose? Getting healthier? Nah, it's always a good thing. Real interesting about hydrochloric acid. Never heard this before. I know someone's telling me he's given her husband's got a lot of cancer all through him, and so despite her, he's working himself through this. And she's trying to be a good woman, but everything. If she reads it in a magazine, I got to get this. You need this. You know, it's that sort of media hype stuff that keeps people buying all these supplements, and they don't stop and think. You know, they're just trusting and good, loving people. I love humans they're good in their hearts. You know, they trust too much sometimes. But I don't want to ever get to the point I don't trust somebody. When you tell me something, I take you for what you say, because you have to take me for what I say. I have no agenda. I have no reason except I'm here. I want to get this message out, help you guys as much as I can spiritually. Then I'm out of here. Let me tell you, there's some beautiful places, and yeah, what about the acid pH of negative thoughts and emotions? Well, you hit it right on the head, Dano, absolutely. I mean, you see that all the time. Stress and all this, very acidic, shuts down adrenals, pumps up your epinephrine, but shuts down your ability to eliminate through urine and stool. So really, you've got to have a balance to everything. For a primate, a balance is like 30 to 40% eating through the day, 30 to 40% playing through the day, 30 to 40% resting through the day, and then sleeping. So a balance. A balance is not going too far on either side. But I have to tell you, a raw food diet can unbalance you. But as you continue to work yourself through all of this, you will get in balance. And then you can't get away from the raw because you get out of balance being unraw. So, you know, somewhere between 80-90% raw and 10 to 20% cooked, a good sustainable life, absolutely. If you want the wild side, you go up further. If you want a detox, you get up on the high fruit and you get up 100%. It's all in where your focus is, what you want to do, where you want to go, how much self-discipline you have, how much stress do you have or not have, how cold is it, how warm is it. I mean, all these factors play a role. High sugar fruit. I was just talking to someone about that. Eat a piece of bread and then eat a piece of fruit and see the difference. Bread has so much more sugar in it than fruit. Exercising on a lymph kidney cleanse. I just started Grape Fast. Oh man, you guys are kicking butt. Day 4, and this has been a few days ago. And trying to do the full 40 days. My God, let me bow down to you. Respect you, dear man. Head it up. I was told by someone that the lymph and kidneys won't cleanse if I exercise daily. No, you can exercise, but I'm saying if you're not filtering through the kidneys, you don't see the sediment. Boy, I wouldn't over-exercise. Just been my personal experience with training and working with a lot of pros. Nah, I would be moderate, and as I get my filtration, then pick it up. You know, the right time for the right thing, you know? And that's what you have to look at is, are you filtering? Because you don't want to create all this acidosis, and you're already trying to remove acidosis. You know, it's just acid on top of acid on top of acid. So you want, once you get your lymphs moving and you get your kidneys filtering, well, tear it up. Absolutely. That's the only thing I'm saying. Be cautious. Because, and a lot of you have already seen this, is that with too much activity in a very acidic medium, doesn't play any more than give you more acidic mediums until you move lymph. And once you're moving lymph and you're hydrating properly, then of course tear it up, obviously. I like to exercise 4 or 5 times a week. Sounds good. For about half an hour. Sounds good to me. Not bad. Will my kidneys start filtering the lymph if I exercise? If you're doing the raw and doing everything, there shouldn't be any reason why they shouldn't. The exercise isn't going to stop them from filtering. But the exercise, I'll say this. Think about this. We talked about this. When you start activity, you remember your adrenals shift to epinephrine and norepinephrine. That's your adrenalins. That's the dilation of the vascular system. That's getting more blood. Heart rate goes up. You know, affects the thyroid. Everybody starts giving you more oxygen and more blood to cells because you're pumping up the muscles. You want more stamina. You want more agility. You want more power. You want more activity. But you can't have elimination with that. Elimination comes when you settle down and rest. And then your dopamines and your acetylcholines go up, remember? I know that to heal kidneys, one must rest a lot. Oh, I sleep 10 hours a day. Well, that's a lot. Boy, if I slept 10 hours, I sleep 3-4 hours a night, period. That's it. I can't get any more than that. I'm meditating, I'm up, I'm trying to overview, I'm trying to, I got a lot of reports, I got a lot of things to do. I sleep 10 hours a day and take your kidney. Ooh, that's a lot of hours. We'll soon be taking adrenals. That's going to help you maybe not sleep as much. Get your thyroid and your adrenals up and you won't need 10. You'll need 8 and 7 and 6. Some of you are having a hard time now. I'm a bit depressed that my kidneys haven't started filtering. Don't be depressed, man. Don't be depressed, high sugar fruit. Some people are taking it. Look at Indiana Banana. Now, his tumor is almost gone, but he doesn't see a lot of sediment yet. Imagine when he sees sediment. So he is filtering, but not as near as good as he could. And he had a lot of sharp pains in his right kidney for a couple of days. What a healing crisis that was. And of course now his kidneys are going to start functioning better, and as they are. His tumor is getting smaller and smaller now, and everything's coming around. But taking time, and that's the issue. Healing is a time-intensive thing. Don't get upset. You'll be okay. We'll even feel more sad if I have to give up don't give up your exercise, sweetheart. You don't have to. Or high sugar fruit, male or female. Demonic symphonic. Dr. Morris, do you recommend how someone had shingles? Oh, I went over that already. I think I already went over these questions. Oh, yeah. I don't have a new version. Thanks, JG. This is, again, why I'm doing this channel, is so all of you can be healers for me, because can't do it all. I'm one little guy here, and you guys really are kicking butt. I'm so proud of you guys. Never have I had, except for my school all these years, and disappointed at the amount of healers that haven't turned out. I'd say only 10 to 20% of my class actually turns out to be real powerful healers. But I'll say that, and maybe more, there might be 50% of them, but a lot of people come for themselves, a lot of lay people, but there's a lot of people. I've had a lot of medical doctors. I had one medical doctor from Africa, and whoo, is he kicking butt. Let me see here. Does anyone know the specific? Does anyone know the specifics of a grape fast? I'm on day 3, but I am eating an enormous amount of grapes every day. Eat all you want. Just whatever you feel might be what your body wants, however little or however much. I could polish off the oranges. I've told you that before. I could do a bushel basket a day, piece of cake. Well, I do 15 oranges basically at a setting. These were grapefruit-sized oranges minimally. I wish I had some of those oranges. I wish I had taken pictures. But I lived in my van. I had nothing. No radio, no TV, only books to read. Living in a Volkswagen van, you don't have nothing, let me tell you. I had nothing, which didn't bother me. I didn't want nothing. I'm not a materialist thinker. I could care less. That's too clogging and suffocating. My parents were antique dealers. At least my grandmother was, and her house was like, oh, don't walk there. Ooh, don't hit that. It's like, oh, all the pretty cut glass and all the cranberry glass and the old carnival glass and the milk glass. See, I know about some antiques, too. She had beautiful oriental rugs, too. Some Persians. Ooh, beautiful stuff. But it was like claustrophobic material-wise, This is Anna Marie. Thank you for being on her. Oh, thanks, honey. Appreciate that. Got that message on another one. Thank you. I'm going to have to cut it here a little bit. Hey, Doc. Mango Mark. Hadn't talked to you in a while, Mango Mark. How are you? Just check in to say I love the segmented video. Oh, thanks. I'm going to keep doing that and going to add on to them. So hoping in the future there'll be kick butt for everyone that has a problem. They can look that up. They find their answers. And but I think all of this is valuable too. I don't know what you guys think, but each one of your cases can help someone else out there that might be standing back looking, but what you're asking is relating to them too. We're all one. So I am so glad that each one of you are asking these questions. Apologize that I can't get to all of them as good as I could, because you see, I flap my jaws a little too much. Oh, let me see here. Kept up good work, by the way. Finished the lemonade fast at 42 days. 42 days. Let me take a minute, Mango Mark, and give due respect. You kicked my butt. Let me give you respect for that. 42 days on lemon. Felt like a lemon, did you? I could only do 29, and I was going, no, I can't do another class. Oh, man, 42 days wrung me out pretty good, didn't I? I bet it did, man. I needed to put some weight back on, so I jumped off the wagon. Well, that's okay. I did go. But when you jump, don't jump too far, because you did so good, you don't want to jump too far off the wagon. So, doing mostly raw with some homemade vegetable soup. Perfect. That's not too far of a jump. Good to him. Sending much love. Much love to you, too. Keep an eye on that, Chris. I got to keep an eye on that, Chris. The Hollywood. Chris. Thanks, Mango Mark. Appreciate it, bud. And this is Trip Rice, 69. It'd be interesting someday for me to hear your stories behind your names. What should you do for hyperthyroidism? Mother's test results suggested Graves' disease, according to Doc, although she bears no symptoms of a thyroid problem. She does have bouts of insomnia and slight low calcium levels. They gave her 3 options: thyroidectomy, radioactive iodine, well, that's a good one, and a PTU. My mother has decided against all 3 and has chosen to juice herself to a cure. Any advice would be appreciated. You betcha, man. In a hyperthyroid case, I really never do touch the thyroid for a while, and I've commented this on other videos because and this is particularly true in a goiter situation where I'm dealing with a goiter. I don't really try to pick up thyroid function in that I'm picking up waste and going to increase goiter size. In other words, in anything hyperthyroid, anything hyper simply means there's something inspiring hyperactivity. Could be a chemical, could be acids. Any of these things could hyperstimulate the performance of cells. Acidosis can hyperstimulate and then eventually go down. So just inflammation, just that act can hyperstimulate or spasm things. Any heavy metals, chemicals, things like this can hyperstimulate the function. Iodine can hyperstimulate the function of the thyroid. You can get iodine, inorganic iodine, from many sources. So there's many dyes and things that people subject themselves to that consume foods with dyes, and these can hyperstimulate the function of endocrine glands. The only true remedy to a hyper case, detoxification. That golden key again that unlocks that magic door to wellness and health and vitality. And it's the same with hyperactivity. Thyroidectomy, the guy ought to lose his license right off for being stupid. You don't take people's thyroids out. And then, of course, now here's another clue, guys. Listen to this. She is low in calcium, so do we have a little parathyroid problem with the thyroid? Absolutely. She could have basically hyperthyroidism and have hypoparathyroidism, and it all be coming from the pituitary. So you just clean the body out and go at the body, get the body healthy, go after the colon, because you know that relationship we've talked about between the transverse bowel and the pituitary. So you just go after health of the body in a hyper state, because if you pick up a gland, if you said I'm going to go after that pituitary, you could really hyperstimulate that thyroid. Better just to detoxify first. That hyperactivity will go down to normal and everybody's good. Then you can work on the weakness. But get all that, any metals, any chemistry in there that's hyperstimulating tissue, that's a detoxification. I never touch those anymore, but detox, and it always works. Always works. Your mom will be fine. All this crap he was talking about, I suggest he does that to himself. And then see how happy he's going to be when he gets older without a thyroid, parathyroid gland. All for the sake, that's the kind of mentality the allopathic people, a lot of them have. Basically, you could just cut half off. Instead of doing a whole thyroidectomy, you could just cut half of it out. Canadian war god. I once was so addicted to all these mangoes. Yeah, I've never heard of those kind of mangoes. It's all I wanted. I would have 2 meals of them every day. See, I hate talking about fruit. I hate talking about mangoes. I hate talking about watermelon. Because I can't get it. And it's like I'm drooling after I talk to you guys, and I go to the store, I'm going, okay. Roxinga. I guess that I love that monkey. Oh my God. I hope that's a joint in his mouth and not a cigarette. Happy New Year to all of you guys. Sun consciousness. Dr. Morris, thanks for committing all the herbal schools. Yeah, I've got in the back of my book, I haven't paid any attention of any new herbal schools, but the East-West, I like Michael Tara, definitely. I think that is a good course of his, too. I think taking Michael's course, Mary Gladstar's course, Emerson College in Canada, beautiful. I love them. I don't know if they're still a school, but boy, they were tough. There's schools in distant learning. There's schools that are like, okay, and there's schools that make you think. I like schools that don't say, well, you can look up the answer. I like schools that ask you a question that you have to reach a conclusion from your studies. And that's the question, wants to know what your conclusion is. That's good education. That was Emerson, more so, really even than Dominion. But Dominion is a really fine school. I love Dominion. There's some European schools. There's an Australian school. I never did the Australian school, but I always thought it'd be interesting, you know. But it's fun. Gaining knowledge on the most powerful source of healing material we have is the botanicals. Pharmaceutical companies' days are numbered. You can play and you can hurt people for so long, and then the whip of the karmic dragon's tail comes slapping you up your you-know-what. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of these people. And it's just, it's just the growth of soul. All the souls involved need to learn to grow. And, of course, the whip of the karmic dragon tail has a way of, putting you in line where you should be. Endometriosis. November's grace. Love the name there. Endometriosis. What would you think about endometriosis? In case of endometriosis, endometrial tissue is growing in places that they shouldn't. Why would that be? What would be spawning or breaking down this tissue or inciting the scarring of this tissue and further moving into the fibroids from this? Going to be the lymph, isn't it? So you're going to see that. I don't know if you're dealing with ovarian cysts as well, but tend to come along with the package. That's all lymph, lymph, lymph. Kidneys and adrenals, my dear one. Clean up those bowels. Go after that lymph quite heavily. You're right there with the uterus, so you should have no problem cleaning that out. Depends, this stuff can grow to other tissue, grow to the bowels. Acid, acid, acid. It just wells things together, basically. That's what an acid does. It wells things together. And your uterus can weld itself to your colon. Not good. So really get on that raw, get up in there. You can douche if you can with some Heal All tea and try to get it up in there. But systemically is really where you're going to go with this, with the kidneys, adrenals, lymphatics, clean up the bowels. Can the raw lifestyle and herbs correct? Oh, absolutely. How can the tissue be released and removed? Your body chews its own. I'm telling you, you're talking about an extremely powerful organism, very conscious in a way that's I can't tell you, but your body puts on extra tissue, takes off extra tissue. Your body can chew up scar just like it does with extra bone tissue. I mean, your body can do all this, but it needs a healthy, fairly base environment and acids being moved out of the tissues to do this. Because, as I said this many, many times, you can't rebuild tissue in an acidic medium. All thoughts on blood and tissue that collects in the pelvic cavity. Ooh, what? You have blood pooling in the pelvic cavity? I mean, that would be serious. I'd sure be interested in who told you that. I mean, you'd have an internal bleed. If you're bleeding into the internal in your pelvic cavity, you've got some serious problems. So if you have some very thin capillaries and you're bleeding internally, get the bleeding formula. It'll stop internal bleeding and start strengthening. Parathyroid, high fruit, which is flavonoids, start strengthening those capillary walls. Start strengthening the body. Parathyroid, high fruit and vegetables, move those lymphs and use the bleeding formula to stop internal bleeding, if that in fact is what's going on here. I look forward to your answer on this. Oh, thank you. I don't think he'll get this up today for sure. Definitely not. It's 4 o'clock. He's already working on some already. Video on Eckankar, The Science of Soul Travel, please. Now, you're right at it now. There's a lot of people on different levels watching this, but I like you always, Bandit. Video on Eckankar. Spent 30 years in Eckankar. And, anytime you can read Paul Twitchell or Darwin Gross's books, they're really going to help you. Particularly if you're interested in the intellectual side of creation and where these worlds are, what are these worlds, and what to expect. I'm done. And Eckankar is a great roadmap. Great roadmap of the spiritual worlds of God. And it'll help you as a Christian to look into Christianity and see what Jesus was talking about. It'll just help you to see how life is. There's nothing I'm good, you're bad, this is true, this is not true. Truth, all of us spiritual people should seek the truth, whether you're Christian, Muslim, who cares? We all need to love each other. Just because you see God in a little bit of a different way, okay. It's when your religion teaches you that other people are bad and you're good, you got to draw the line there. Something wrong with that, because we're all God people. We might have forgot that. Remember the little girl that asked the baby, Mommy, baby, can you tell me about God again? I'm about to forget. We forget. And we make religions and bonfires and wars. We need to change all that, guys. We need to bond together and bring love, peace, joy, and a sense of vitality to this world, at least to yourself, and then to the world. Because yourself, you have to, your next journey, and the journey you're on should be the best of the best. So with that, I love you all. The bell is ringing. I got to leave. So have a great night, every one of you. I'll try to come in tomorrow. You're going to get tired of me, but I got to come in and kind of catch up. We only did this much in 2 hours or an hour and a half. Ugh. Oh, well, I love you all. Bear with me. I'm here with all of you, and I appreciate you hanging in with me, too. Thank you. Bye-bye.